Hi. So there's something that I have been playing around in my mind, something I've been thinking about, and I've been wanting to talk about it for quite a while, but I really didn't know how to put my words together. And I read something today, and I just felt, okay, talk about it. I want to know if there are more people out there who agree with me, people who are on the same wavelength, and if you aren't, I'd like to know why. So this thing has to do with, and it's something that a lot of us at one point in our lives we've been guilty of. Okay, it has a lot to do with stereotyping, and then we couch our stereotypical or our stereotyping in motivational and inspirational messages. So these things come off as, oh, well intentioned and from the heart. But you have to be careful, and I'm very wary of a lot of motivational speak and inspirational speak, because when people are really not advised, they're really not advised based on their life, based on their experiences. And one of the things I always tell people is you have to learn to be very discerning. Be very, very discerning of the things that you ingest, okay? Of what people tell you. But no matter how nice sounding it is, no matter how much you love the person that's doing the talking, even me, okay? Because oftentimes people speak from a place of pain. People speak from a place of an overwhelming experience that they've had, and they find it difficult to assume or believe that others are not going through the same thing, or others will not experience it. And oftentimes people project their experiences onto others, because why should I be the only one that would experience this thing? Do you get? One of the areas that this really affects is the area of age, where people come out and say, and we're not even talking about, in quote, achievements now. We're talking about the mental state of mind, the emotional state of mind. People come out and say, like a 50-year-old, when you get to 40, you become more sensitive. When you get to 40, you don't take nonsense from anyone. You don't have time for beers. And by the time you get 50, your life is relaxed. And you know what that does? That puts people in a box. So what we're doing is selling the message that people can't be unique. People can't be individualistic. We are saying that we all have to conform to this packaged deal of what it means to be 10, to be 20, to be 30, to be 40. Now, if we're talking about biological growth, and things like that, it's different. It's different. Those are things that we can't control, that we have no hold over. But there are things that are in our power to control. But when we listen to things like this, we begin to relax. And the things that we ought to strive for, the way we want to express ourselves, the things we want to say, we don't say them because what do people think? I'm a mommy, I'm not supposed to show off like this. No. I think what is important is people should stay true to themselves. I always say this. There's nothing to lose by knowing yourself. And even if you do lose something by knowing yourself, then that thing wasn't yours in the first place. But you have everything to gain when you know yourself. Like, it is unbelievable the BS that you drop once you know yourself. The fact that external validation doesn't move you anymore. The fact that people can say anything about you and you're not concerned. And this has nothing to do with whether you are 20 or 30 or 40. This has more to do with your level of awareness, your level of emotional growth. I think what I'm trying to say is we should stop indirectly, subtly, unconsciously, or even overtly packaging people in boxes, packaging people in stereotypes. That we are from the same state does not mean that we bear the same ideals, that we think the same way. That we are both women doesn't mean that our values are the same, or that our pain points to some extent is the same. Now, we talk about certain women who have been harassed, who have been abused. Not every woman has experienced that. Do you get it? So it's different per person. There are some women who don't see the things we hold on to as problems. They don't see it because they have grown beyond that. They are so in tune with themselves that they are rising above whatever challenge the rest of us are seen as challenges. Okay? So when you see a woman who is rising, watch her and observe. We are all women. We live in the same country. All right? She doesn't have two heads. You don't have two heads. Everybody has the same head. But why is she getting ahead? Some of you might say, because of connections. Exactly. So our situations are different. Stop trying to put yourself in a box where, and those are the things that cause, what do you call it now? Competition and comparison, which kills your drive, which frustrates you. You know, we need to empower ourselves with the things that we dwell on, with the advice that we take. Again, not all motivational speak, not all inspirational speak are actually what they say they are. Some of them, it's like it's coated in butter, coated in sugar, but inside are thorns. And those thorns chip away at your self-esteem, at your self-confidence, at who you are, to the point where you're taking the sugar and you're now forgetting yourself. And you're saying, okay, let me focus on the sugar. Like, no, don't be moved, okay? Contrary to what people say, I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm not an inspirational speaker. I can share my story. I don't share my story saying that this is how it is for everybody. I share my story so that people would know that it doesn't matter what is going on in your life. That is one thing that is constant. Once you have control of your mind, once you have control of your thinking faculty, there is nothing that you can't achieve. One thing I do know for sure, nobody is hopeless. Nobody is helpless. Nobody was brought to this world to be nothing. It is the world that determines whether you are nothing or not. And that is based on the permission you give the world. Okay? All right. So that's what I wanted to share. And I hope you get the drift of the message. But if you don't agree with what I've shared, I would like to know what your thoughts are. And I would like to know if any of these motivational speak have actually moved you or have reminded you of the fact that you are lacking, you are not enough, you are not perfect, you need to do more. You only need to do more based on your reality, based on the goals and aspirations you have for yourself, not what others have for you. Stop competing with the world. Start competing with you. Okay? Wow.